Welcome to the channel. This is Morning Chores. My name is Nicole, and today we are doing a video on starting seeds. This is a really fun activity, and depending on where you live will determine what time of year to do this. So we're going to talk about all those things, what the benefits are of starting seeds indoors, and then I'll show you how easy this project is. The number one reason to start your seeds indoors really depends on climate and where you're living geographically in the world. So where I live here in the United States in Grow Zone 6. So there's a couple of things that I like to grow that if I planted them directly in the soil outdoors, I would not actually see the fruit from those plants. So for example, tomatoes are something that we just do not have a long enough growing season where I live. So if I planted tomato seeds directly in the ground in the spring, that plant would grow up and it would look beautiful, but it would get cold before I would actually get any fruit, any tomatoes. So it's important to know this because if I want tomatoes, I have to start the seeds indoors, usually at the end of winter, in order to get those yummy, delicious tomatoes. Now let's go over the supply list, and it's very simple. Some of these things you may even have around your own house, so that's great because it saves money. But you can purchase all this brand new either online or at a local greenhouse or at a hardware store. But the first thing you need is some kind of tray like this. You need something that you can set your containers in for planting that can ideally catch the water. This one has holes in it, but I do have solid ones as well. You want something so that when you water the plants and the excess water comes out of the bottom, you have something to catch that water. The next thing you need are vessels to plant your seeds in. They come in all different sizes. Again, these I saved from buying plants at a greenhouse, so I didn't purchase these. You can also use yogurt containers. You just want to make sure that you drill a hole in the bottom so that the water can drain through. That's really important because if you don't do that, the water is going to settle in the bottom and you'll end up with root rot, which is what you don't want. The next thing you need is soil, and I really like this brand. It's Jiffy Natural and Organic Seed Starting Mix. I think I bought this from Lowe's, the hardware store. A couple years ago, I bought several bags and I just kept it in my shed. But seed starting mix is a little looser and it just makes it easier for those seeds to germinate. And the last thing you need is water. So I hope you have water on hand. I mean, you can't live without it. So definitely get some water, whether it's from your tap, your well, or from a filter. Now, if you are on city water, I would recommend that you use filtered water because the fluoride and some of the other things in the water could make it difficult for your seeds to germinate. So just keep that in mind. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to moisten our soil. So Caleb, do you want to dump this in here for me? So the reason I like to add water to the soil and moisten it before putting it into the trays is that it increases or speeds up the germination process. That should be plenty. All right, now Lydia's going to add the water and we'll mix it all together.
I want to mix it.
Yes, here, use the spoon. You don't want it to be too moist.
I want to do this.
Yeah. This is what you want it to look like. You want it to be moist, kind of like cookie dough. So the next step we're going to do is take the soil and fill our vessels. You don't want to pack it in super tight, but you also don't want it super loose. Good job, Caleb.
Is it okay if we accidentally get newspaper in?
Yes.
Oh, that's soil. Look, Mommy. I packed it.
That looks great. Good job, Lids.
Thank you. Too much. I was saying that. Say the way, say the way. Now let's do it all together. Say the way, say the way, say the way.
Now it's time to plant the seeds, and there's a couple things that I want to share that will make germination go more smoothly for you. The tinier the seed, the more shallow you plant it. The bigger the seed, the deeper you plant it. But I don't plant my seeds, regardless of their size, really that deep because then it takes it longer for it to germinate and pop up. So just keep that in mind. If it's a really tiny seed, super shallow. If it's a bigger seed, a little deeper. Also, I put multiple seeds in each vessel. So I don't do 1 seed per vessel. I usually do 2 or 3 because sometimes you have a seed that won't germinate.
So you remember? I remember you did this.
Make holes.
Is that how you
Okay,
do it?
little hole, little hole.
Is that how you do
Yeah,
it?
just do little holes. You don't want deep holes.
Is that
okay?
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that is a little hole.
So you just need to go like this. Boop, boop, boop.
Okay,
Just like that.
I'll do it.
Yep. So for a smaller child, like Caleb over here, say hello.
Hello.
It's best with seeds to put them on a plate or in a bowl. It'll just be easier for them to pick them up with their little hands. Someone older over here, she can just pour them into her hand and do it that way.
I don't have NOS.
Well, you have plenty of seeds there. You just gotta spread them out and put just a few in each hole.
Cover them with
I started when my plants grow.
So what we're planting right now is just flowers, and he's doing some peppers. I'm not doing tomatoes this year because last year I bought them from a local greenhouse and they did really, really well. So I'm just not gonna worry about starting tomatoes this year. We're just kind of having some fun and doing flowers. The next step you want to do is you want to label what you planted, because when they all first come up, they all look the same. So it's very easy to get them mixed up. Once they start getting their buds, it's a little easier to tell, but it is a good idea to label. The last step is setting up your space for your seeds to grow. So the first thing you want to think of is you want to put your seeds next to a sunny window. They need lots of sunshine. The second thing is preferably you want to pick a warmer spot in your home. The warmth will help those seeds germinate, and then that and the combination of the sunlight is perfect. So if you have a wood stove next to a sunny window, that's ideal, or just pick the warmest room in your home. Now, if you don't have a spot in your home that checks both of those boxes, let's say you have the sunniest window, but it's in a cooler part of your home, there are some ways to get around that. So for example, you can buy some extra tools to help. One of them is a heat mat. This is a mat that is completely waterproof, and you set it under your tray and plug it in, and it just provides just some low warmth to warm up that soil and help those seeds germinate. Now, I only like to use this for the first week or two, and once they really get going and take off, then I back off and I don't use it anymore. Another option is a heat lamp. This is another way that you can provide some UV light to those seeds to help them germinate and grow. What I find is helpful with this is I like to try to put it as close to the soil as I can, especially when those seeds first start sprouting, because it kind of helps them grow a little more slowly, so that way the stalk gets a little thicker. So that's something I like using, and again, I don't use this the whole time. I just use it until they get pretty well established, and then I back off the light. I also will back it off slowly, so instead of using it for 5 hours a day, I'll use it for 4 hours and then 3 until I'm not using it anymore. I'm actually gonna do this. There. I also like these bendy lights because you can move the lights where you need them. Hopefully this is heavy enough that it'll not tip over. Now we're just gonna lay these out. I'm already seeing with my setup that this isn't quite close enough, so I may have to put something underneath just to boost that up and give it a little more height. I hope you enjoyed today's video and inspired you to get some seeds planted. I am super excited for spring and for the gardening season, and this is just kind of one of those ways that can kind of pump me up and motivate me for the season, so I hope it encouraged you as well. All the products mentioned in today's video will be linked in the description box below. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next video.